Rod also alleged that Diddy possessed compromising footage of every person that attended, including Hollywood's biggest names and even royalty.
See, you already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Hey, TikTok, you up to bat? Bah! It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Hey, two things we got to do. You got to hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is. Elevate more in 2024. Elevate more in 2024. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos. For everybody that's focused on elevating this year, hashtag elevate more in 2024, man, for sure. I see y'all out there. But we back with another TikTok conspiracy theory. A lot of people talking about what's going on April 8th. The Eclipse, Cern. It's a lot of stuff in this video. It's a lot of stuff. But if you make it to the end of this one, man, you a real one for real. And I need you to drop that in the comments. Also, I have a TikTok playlist you can go through and watch and sit back and enjoy. This is for the people that's going to sit back and just be like, hey, with their popcorn and see what's going on in the world today. Let's go ahead and get it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
Last week, federal agents raided two homes of rapper and music mogul Sean P. Diddy Combs in Los Angeles and Miami. Combs is the subject of a federal investigation and already facing a series of civil lawsuits from several women and at least one man alleging he either assaulted, abused, or trafficked them. Some of the accusations date back at least 30 years, and Combs has denied all allegations. For the latest now, I'm joined by Sydney Madden, music reporter for NPR and co-host of its podcast, Louder Than a Riot. So, Sydney, let's begin with those raids by federal investigators. What do we know about why they went in and what they found?
Well, it's not exactly clear what the charges are that prompted these raids, although we do know that in the civil suits that were recently filed against him, dating back last year, that date back decades, there have been many allegations of sex trafficking in the midst of those civil suits, and that Homeland Security and federal agents do investigate those charges criminally.
So, Sydney, remind us as well now, there was a late 2023 lawsuit by Mr. Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, that really opened the door for these other lawsuits to follow. What was so damning in that original lawsuit that prompted this cascade of lawsuits we've seen since?
Cassie Ventura's original lawsuit, it really did open the floodgates, as you said, because it detailed almost 2 decades of hidden coercion, abuse, assault, even rape. And it was kind of the dark side of their very public relationship and their working relationship in the music industry that dates back to the early 2000s.
And when we talk about these other lawsuits, how many more are we talking about? And are the allegations consistent across all of those cases?
So as of this date, there have been 5 civil suits filed against Diddy. And the latest one, again, as of this date, is filed by Lil Rod, aka Rodney Jones, who was a music producer who worked for Diddy between 2022 and 2023. And Jones is alleging a lot of the same behaviors and indiscretions that Cassie and other people have claimed that the music mogul was doing all of this time. Things like using people on his staff for drug mules, things like pushing drugs onto multiple people on his team, pushing people onto his team. Lil Rod accuses Diddy of groping him, accuses Diddy of having people on his staff proposition and sexually assault him, and he's accusing him of propositioning sex workers all throughout the United States to come to Diddy and have alleged freak-offs.
As you mentioned, Sean Combs denies all of the allegations. Have we seen any kind of a public response from him, though, online or in any other form to these accusations?
It's been a lot of sidestepping, I would say, publicly from Diddy. He broke his silence on social media recently by posting a lot of his children for Easter Sunday. He's been very jovial, I would say, publicly facing, but Diddy's legal team says they vehemently deny all of these claims and that the Homeland Security raids specifically were a gross misuse of military level force.
Sydney, I think it's fair to say it doesn't get bigger than Diddy in the music world. He works and moves in rarefied circles of entertainment and celebrity. Have any of these
A lot of people saying, though, that this is a cover-up for other people that he got film on. I don't know.
Allegations had an impact on those relationships, business or personal?
Definitely. I mean, the fallout from these allegations so far has definitely been a blow to Diddy's business and his public reputation. So since these allegations started to come out, he has stepped down as chairman of Revolt TV, Revolt Entertainment, his news media channel. He's also sold off all of his shares of that. And he's parted ways with the liquor company that used to distribute a lot of his name brand liquors and collaborations. And there have been a lot of people in the hip hop space who have kind of just used this as a moment to say that all of these indiscretions that he's being accused of are open secrets that have been proliferated in the music industry over the years. But what that fails to interrogate is how they've been able to operate as open secrets without anybody calling him out for fear of losing their proximity, their business, their just access to his celebrity.
What about that allegation of this being an open secret for so long? I mean, when you and I spoke at the end of 2023 after the Ventura lawsuit, we talked about whether this was some larger moment of reckoning in the industry. And back then you said it was too early to tell. But what do you make of that now?
Now, I would say, I think as more time has passed and more suits have been carried out, there are many more people in positions of power who are publicly distancing themselves from him. And, you know, in the hip hop space, it's about money, power, and respect. I would definitely say the fallout is happening.
That is Sydney Madden, music reporter for NPR and co-host of the podcast Louder Than a Riot. Sydney, thank you.
Thank you.
Diddy allegedly held freak-out parties with underage girls and sex workers and had hidden cameras in every room of his house. Producer Lil Rod claims in a bombshell lawsuit he was drugged and woke up naked in bed with Diddy and 2 sex workers, and claims to have hours of video evidence documenting Diddy's serious illegal activity. Rod also alleged that Diddy possessed compromising footage of every person that attended, including Hollywood's biggest names and even royalty. He says the freak-out parties were career opportunities for young upcoming artists, and Diddy had music execs financially backing them.
He might be a whole lot of fruity too. But Cassie would know that just like Kim knew that.
So Justin Bieber has recently allegedly added to the shocking speculation surrounding Diddy, and considering their history, it's not surprising at all.
You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. But you never really got my number.
They live this weird rock and roll lifestyle where they touchy-feely with each other.
In a recently surfaced clip, Diddy is seen talking to a visibly nervous Justin Bieber, who appears to be around 16 years old. Diddy is questioning why Bieber has been distant, and this clip has gained attention again after raids were conducted on Diddy's homes.
Diddy's Los Angeles and Miami mansions raided by SWAT teams.
Boy, this is
Diddy, whose real name is Sean Combs, is a well-known rapper, label owner, and entrepreneur. His properties in Los Angeles and Miami were raided by Homeland Security this week.
This is going to be an interesting year right here.
Film talking about just that. Take a listen.
When you think you'll have kids?
I'm not having kids.
What you mean you're not having kids?
I'm not having kids.
That's what you was born here to do.
No, I'm not.
Why would you not want to have kids?
Why would I?
I'm asking you.
Why don't I want to have kids? I don't see any benefit.
For giving somebody life?
You have a kid and your life becomes about the kid. I want my life to be about me.
Oh, you selfish.
That's okay.
All right. Well, I think you can say at least Amani Wortham is honest. She's admitting to the fact that she is selfish and she wants her life to be about her. Now, if you look at the comments under this post, people are applauding her. They're saying, yay, absolutely, good for you. And by the way, I don't want to say to some woman who is this selfish, is admittedly selfish, that she should have children, even though obviously I believe the gentleman is right. I believe that having children is our divine purpose as women. I don't think there's anything that you can get from life that is not going to bring you more satisfaction and completion than having a child. But again, not going to encourage someone like her to have children. But that's not all Amani has to say. She also holds a very derogatory view of men. Take a listen.
Okay.
But what do you look for in a man?
I don't look for anything in a man. I don't look for a man.
I mean, when you meet a man, you talking to
I don't look for nothing in a man.
So what's happening here? Now it sounds like it's not only children that she doesn't want, but she doesn't even want to have a meaningful relationship. She holds a bad view of men altogether. We've seen this before. You know, me and Matt Walsh last week, obviously I read him Megan Fox's poem book, another person who I think would qualify as a millennial. And she had that poem, just 7 lines of saying, I hate men, I hate men, I hate men, I hate men. That's the attitude that Amani is expressing in this podcast as well. And it gets worse. Now, just to give you a little bit of background before you see this next clip, rather notoriously, the rapper Cardi B went on an Instagram Live and was talking about what she did before she became famous. She used to be a stripper, that's well known, but she also talked about how she would take men home from the strip club and she would drug them and rob them. I know, it's amazing. She admitted to committing the crime of drugging men and then robbing them while they were asleep, taking their wallets, and yet she's still been given tons of awards. Obviously not a very defensible thing for any woman to do, whether you're a stripper or not. But Amani defends her actions, and I want you to take a close listen to why she defends them.
How do you feel about Cardi B?
What about her?
About Cardi B admitting that she
Good for her.
used to... Wait, no, that she used to drug and men?
Good for her.
Good for her?
Good for her. Who gives a f? They got robbed. They can get that back. They had all the money to buy this. They can buy it again. We're not even going to start comparing getting drugged and robbed for some watches or some money to getting sexually assaulted. I'm never going to be like, oh, we should be talking about Cardi B when it talks about like all the sexual assault going on. She didn't sexually assault them.
Bruh, what?
Puff Daddy to me is like a, what's them dudes who run the 3-ring circus, the dude that come out and, you know what I mean? Ringmaster.
Some massive allegations might be coming soon involving Justin Bieber, P. Diddy, and Usher. Usher was discovered when he was 14 years old by P. Diddy. In an interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2012, Usher admitted that Puff Daddy had brought him to sex parties and exposed him to drugs when he signed to the record label.
It appears Ice Cube is once again stirring up controversy, dropping hints about potentially shady dealings involving Jay-Z and Diddy. Brace yourselves for what could be a bombshell revelation, as the tea he's supposedly brewing threatens to shake things up. With each passing day, it feels increasingly likely that Jay-Z is following a similar tumultuous path as Diddy, suggesting there's much more to uncover. According to Ice Cube, there's a complex web of shadows connecting Jay-Z and Diddy, delving into some rather grim affairs while mutually covering their tracks. Interestingly, Jay-Z only severed ties with Diddy at the 11th hour, suggesting he was keen on concealing his own involvement.
I guess he the ringmaster because, you know, he do it big and he always put on a show. So Puffy is the ringmaster.
Moreover, rumors are circulating that Diddy may have played a role in Justin Bieber's substance use issues. These rumors gain credibility when taking into account past allegations made by Cassie and Bieber's own statements regarding his fight against addiction, especially under the early pressures of stardom. Notably, Bieber's recovery and professional successes appear to align with his reduced association with Diddy, raising inquiries about Diddy's impact on Bieber's previous difficulties.
Record label. The cycle repeated when Puff Daddy found Justin Bieber around the same age as when he found Usher. According to Justin Bieber's own mother, Puff Daddy corrupted her son, pressuring him to go to these drug-fueled sex parties. This all becomes even more disturbing given the R. Kelly-level allegations brought up against Sean Puffy Combs this past year.
Diddy's extravagant gifts to Bieber, such as a Ferrari and a mansion for his 18th birthday, have raised eyebrows, especially considering Diddy's previous financial controversies with other musicians. The situation becomes more intriguing as Diddy teases secret transactions with Bieber, opting to keep the specifics under wraps.
Other women and men all tell the same story of being drugged and SA'd by P. Diddy. P. Diddy allegedly admitted to murdering people to keep this all quiet.
On the other hand, with Diddy facing a barrage of legal battles, speculation arises whether Jay-Z might be next in the firing line for scrutiny. Yet, it prompts a moment of reflection. How did Jay-Z, of all people, become entangled with someone like Diddy, and what secrets could he be desperately guarding? Let's delve deeper into this enigma.
Thief is the worst thing. His hand should be chopped. Her hand should be chopped off. His or her hand should be. That's the way I feel about somebody taking something from somebody that ain't there. When you could go out and you could.
It appears that Jay-Z might be feeling the pressure, especially with Ice Cube allegedly revealing some rather dark details concerning the connection between him and Diddy. Rumors on the street
indicate that the information Ice Cube possesses could potentially deal a fatal blow to Jay-Z's career, possibly leading him straight into trouble.
There's talk suggesting that Ice Cube hasn't kept this tantalizing information to himself either. Whispers hint that he may have shared it with the authorities, aiming to bring both Jay and Diddy down.
Wow.
And let's not forget the recent spotlight on Jay-Z with all the scandals surrounding Diddy. People are now wondering if Jay might be the next one to face scrutiny.
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed, right? Jay-Z, over the course of his career, and I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Storm Monroe, a well-connected insider, recently released a video shedding light on a potential storm brewing in Jay-Z's world.
Uh-oh.
According to Monroe, once the chaos surrounding Diddy subsides, Jay-Z might find himself embroiled in a similar legal battle.
This is crazy.
Behind the scenes, shadowy figures are allegedly orchestrating Diddy's downfall and could drag Jay-Z into the fray.
Bruh, this whole 2024 is going to be crazy, bruh. This is, like they say, this is only the beginning. We don't even know what they found. What did they confiscate? Like, this stuff, it's going to be a lot more to be revealed for sure.
Man, you doing it, man. You deserve it, Daddy. You putting in that work. Proud of you. I love you.
If we being honest, the probability of Meek Mill walking away from these allegations is astronomical. Like, they done included my boy in the Freako charges with the take that man, the same man that be calling grown man daddy.
I like when you like this, Daddy.
The same man that offered to take grown men on shopping sprees.
Like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or some shit? I mean, like, I pay for it. And I was like, what the fuck this just say?
And then you get caught in 4K wearing matching fits.
4K.
There's no way out of this one.
Come on, Freak Millie. I think I got a better chance of getting superpowers than you do at beating these allegations at this point. You could have just thrown the matching footy pajamas and went your way. Nobody would have bothered you. But it's like you trying to make like exclusive, deluxe, super complex, sophisticated arguments to explain why you inducted into the Freako charges, bro. You tried to say it was AI ChatGPT that made up a fake lawsuit, then why is it going to court? Why is it going to court, Freak Millie? Answer the question.
Freak Millie.
You think the robot got a lawyer, bro? It's you, Freak Millie, it's you.
Yo, they savage.
5 days left, and as we gotten closer, the number one question is, what the hell is Cern trying to do? I know a lot of y'all got the attention span of a squirrel, but you gotta hear this about Cern. So if you got to, just hold the screen down and it'll go twice as fast, but you can still hear everything clear.
There is something more supernatural on the drawing board at Cern than what is being admitted. Even Adam Barker of Tech Bubble wrote of Cern a while back that with the LHC, Cern are expecting to find other dimensions and open portals to these dimensions. If you have the image of Stargate in your head right now, you're spot on. That's what he said.
That'd be crazy. Opening up.
And then he went on to draw parallels to the biblical story of Jacob's ladder. Perhaps you remember the dream that says, behold, there was a ladder set up on the earth, and the top of it reached to heaven. And behold, the angels of God were ascending and descending on it. Then Jacob wakes up from his sleep and he says, surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it. And he was afraid. And he says, how awesome is this place? This is none other than the house of God, and this is the gate of heaven, Genesis 28. Now this ladder, described in the first book of the Bible, describes something like a portal from heaven to earth through which God's angels, interdimensional and spiritual beings from another reality, were traveling. When Jacob wakes up, he refers to the location as a gate, much like today's trendy terms, gateway or stargate. One of Cern's goals is to recreate Jacob's ladder, according to Barker.
Why?
And to reopen a portal. Now, Sergio Bertolucci, who is the official director for research and scientific computing at Cern, he was asked a while back about this extra-dimensional doorway by The Register, which is a London and New York operated science and technology journal. And he didn't hesitate with an enlightening response. He said, yes, out of this door might come something, or we might send something through it.
What?
Now, prophecy in numerous parts of the Bible refer to a coming day when portals will be opened and spiritual entities are going to pass through and come to the earth. Now, if that's true, and if those verses are accepted for their literal meaning and not written off as some kind of poetic allegory, as some scholars have claimed, then the idea of Cern playing with gateways is a major concern.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
And if, as Cern claims, they're only out to explore space, time, matter, particles, and the origin of our known universe and planets from exclusively a scientific or Darwinian-related perspective, if their agenda is unrelated to Bible prophecy entirely, then what is it with all this mystical symbolism that they knowingly are associating themselves with? Wouldn't it be more appropriate for them just to proudly display a polished statue of a particle or some artist depiction of the Big Bang instead of the statue of Shiva? For those who have not yet heard about this controversial piece of art that Cern proudly exhibits between buildings 39 and 40 near the main building of their operation, it stands as really the most visible and celebrated imagery behind their work, Shiva. This is the Hindu god of destruction.
Destruction.
Additionally, and perhaps even more important, there's a significant section of Cern that is built upon the Saint Genus Poili, which is a commune in Ain, a department of France. In Roman times, the Saint Genus Poili was called Apaliacum, but the town and a temple were dedicated there in ancient times to Apollyon, the destroyer, the Shiva Horus, if you will. Apollyon is also the angel of the bottomless pit, referred to in Revelation 9:11.
What?
And then there is a connection between Cern and the Gothard Base Tunnel, the GBT, to unveil what was beneath the earth, a great machine formed from human arms that rotated and churned into various shapes and design, many of which resembled the Large Hadron Collider at Cern. Once this opening was achieved, the miners stripped off their orange jumpsuit attire and took up arms. That is, they used staves to perform a dance routine that looked like warfare. It was this forensic dance that aroused a giant. So clearly, the endeavor connected to Cern is far more than Switzerland's braggadocio about an engineering feat. The connection between Cern and ritualistic summoning of a sleeping giant, the horned god of Cernunnos or even Melkart, both are types of the rising dying god. And Melkart slept for half the year, which may be why Elijah told the priests of Baal to call louder because he might be sleeping. Of course, I can only speculate, but I note the connection between Nimrod, Apollo, and Abaddon, Apollyon at Cern, and the history of the region. are all highly curious. Apollo was worshipped by the Romans of that area, as well as the Greeks and in central France. Apollo was equated with the Celtic god Atep Omerus. These two characters were combined to create Apollo Atep Omerus, which can be translated as great horseman or possessing a great horse. In the Celtic belief, horses were closely related to the sun. The interesting thing to note is the connection between this idea of Apollo being associated with horses in France, where part of the LHC and Cern resides, and what the book of Revelation states about Abaddon, where it says, "And the shapes of the locusts were like unto horses prepared unto battle, and on their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were as the faces of men, and they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue hath his name Apollyon." End quote. I also note that Revelation chapter 9, after describing how these devil worshippers will be judged during the Great Tribulation period, it ends in verse 21 saying, "Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries," which is the Greek pharmakia, "nor of their fornication, nor of their thefts." Now, pharmakia is the word that describes the ancient occultic effort to use mind-expanding drugs during rituals in order to open a doorway for making contact with unseen supernatural entities. So, given these descriptions, is it possible that Cern will have something to do with the opening of the bottomless pit described in Revelation 9?
Well, this Cern stuff is different.
Oh my God, you guys. What the hell is going on that all of these places are declaring states of emergency for an upcoming event, the solar eclipse on the 8th of April? When in the history of our lives have they called state of emergency for an eclipse? It's not just happening in Niagara Falls, it's also happening in Texas, Indiana, all over the place. All over the place. And not only that, you've got to listen to this guy. Okay, this is Indiana. And now you can listen to this guy.
Niagara Falls has declared a state of emergency. But get this, it's for something that's going to happen in the future. In one of the strangest stories I've heard in a while, the Niagara region announced Friday that they'll be declaring a state of emergency to accommodate an upcoming once-in-a-lifetime event. A solar eclipse that's set to take place on April 8th. But it gets even stranger. At the exact same time as the eclipse, NASA will be firing 3 rockets into the moon's shadow, and the Cern particle accelerator will be firing up for the first time in 2 years to search for invisible matter that secretly powers our universe. Am I the only one weirded out by this?
This is crazy, bro.
What the F is happening, you guys? They have Cern, they have NASA, they have all of these things happening. They're not telling us anything. People are disappearing, going on vacation, getting cancer, disappearing. All of these famous people are no longer around, and now we have all this information just for an upcoming solar eclipse. We've had these before, and this type of thing has never happened. Oh my God, what do you think? Let's discuss this. Yeah, TikTok, this is for entertainment purposes only, so don't bust me again.
Drop your comments.
Last night I had a vision of where I saw demons. I saw the demons cheering. I saw a swarm of demons about a mile long, even further for us that I could see, man. Crowds and crowds and swarms of demons cheering. And off in the distance, I saw something they were carrying. These demons were cheering, and they were carrying a giant casket above their head, you know. This casket, I still don't know who this is because we're not allowed to see. But I saw the demons cheering, y'all. And they were toting this casket. Eloi, my God. I saw the demons toting this casket above their head. And they were cheering.
And what else?
This casket was the beast inside of this casket. These demons were pushing this casket, toting it head to head, passing it along. Up forward, I looked up and I saw a portal, which to me appears to be Cern. Okay? That's the closest thing I can think of. Looked like sixes swirling. Portal was opening. I saw 18 on it. The 18 started spinning so fast that the 8 turned into infinity, and the line of the 1 turned into a circle around the 8. As this portal was opening, I saw the demons cheering, toting their king up into our world. Y'all understand what I'm telling y'all? At the same time, I saw the angels. Yeah, the angels were up high. They were pacing back and forth, y'all. They was picking up their armor. They was ready for war. They was picking up their armor, ready for war. And I saw the saints, man. I heard the saints saying this over and over. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The angels were beating their chest. They're getting ready for this war. That is getting ready to spill onto our physical realm. Y'all excuse my energy right now, but I'm you know what I'm saying? This was a vivid one where I walked in this energy.
This is getting crazy, yo.
Why would they want to do this on the Eclipse? I have no idea, but this company is super creepy. I'm gonna tell you why right now. Now, they say this is super safe, but we're talking about protons colliding, the potential of having a big bang, not to mention how weird it is that this is located in the territory of St. Genus Poli in Switzerland. Now, in Roman times, this town was dedicated to this thing called a polygon. This is the destroyer of worlds. Now, why is that important? Well, the Hadron Collider could lead us into having a black hole. It may go to somewhere where things can come out our end. What a weird coincidence. If you go on their website, they say they have no intention of causing any harm. Well, what scientist, what person has never had an intention of doing something wrong and accidentally blowing up the world or cracking the space-time continuum? So listen to this quote from the director of research at Cern. Something might come through the dimensional doors at LHC, Large Hadron Collider.
Crazy.
And out of this door, something might come. Or we may just send something through the door. Cern says it's for research. This is just the facts. What do you think is really going on with this Hadron Collider tested at the same time as the solar eclipse? I would love to see a comment from you.
This is very crazy stuff here.
Breaking news, this was never supposed to happen, as this deadly biblical warning is happening in real life in less than 1 month, and life on this planet may no longer exist.
People were terrified after scientists reported a haunting celestial biblical event that will hit Earth in just a few weeks. And our Earth could face a supernatural divine ending, as we are seeing signs of this starting with no way to stop it.
Well, on April 8, 2024, a solar eclipse will shroud the U.S. into darkness, and scientists were shocked as it's reported to be passing through biblical towns like Jonah, Texas, the same name that the Bible mentions in Matthew chapter 12, saying there will not be signs of the end except for the prophet of Jonah.
The eclipse will also engulf several other biblical towns into complete darkness, like Rapture, Indiana, and right through the exact location of where Noah's Ark was rebuilt, Williams, Kentucky. The Bible in Luke 17 also warns us of a great flood ending all of us, with our signs being in an eclipse with our stars.
And April's eclipse is rumored to be passing through our constellation Cetus, representing our ocean. What do you think about this? Let me know your thoughts down below.
Dang. Kentucky.
Hey, Flanders, heading for church? Well, I thought I could save you a little time.
Ooh, found a new shortcut.
Better. I was working on a flat tax proposal, and I accidentally proved there's no God.
We'll just see about that. Uh-oh. Well, maybe he made a mistake. Nope. It's airtight. Can't let this little doozy get out.
Do not watch the eclipse on April the 8th. The ancients believed that the eclipses were strange phenomena, and that ultimately it was bad luck to watch them. Most of the time, the ancients would stay inside to avoid the eclipses. A lot of beliefs point towards staying inside, fasting while the eclipse is going on, and also believe that pregnant women should stay in the house and avoid them. The energy is highly unusual and can definitely be considered a bad omen.
This stuff has happened before. Why is this one just so crazy?
This is not a regular face. They're trying to tell you that demons are walking with us, and this is their way of trying to tell us in secrets. They're trying to make this normal, so when we walk down the street and see one of these faces, we say, hey, it's just another person. No, these are demons. Remember, 2024 is going to unlock everything that was hidden. So all the time that we thought demons wasn't real, we're about to see it. When we thought aliens wasn't real, we're about to see it. It was a time where we needed our third eye to see these demons and spirits. Not no more, because the solar eclipse is all connected to events like this. People don't want to believe we are in the end times. They never did their spiritual work. They never did their shadow work. They just went about their life like, hey, shit is just regular. All these events is connected to the solar eclipse, but people still say the solar eclipse is just another day. They are releasing demons from under the ground. These demons once lived under the planet, but now they're being pushed up to the surface. So we're about to be walking around eating with them, watching games with them, doing everything with them. Shit, don't be surprised if they start making TikTok videos. The movie They Live came out in 1988. It tried to expose what was really happening behind the scenes. But people say, give me my popcorn, give me my hot dog. I just want to watch the movie. You missed what they was trying to tell you. But now nothing is hidden no more, because everything that was hidden in the dark is coming to the light. The solar eclipse, dark and the light, and these demons are about to be seen with all of us. You can call them demons, jinns, fallen angels, interdimensional beings, whatever name you want to give them. Just remember, they don't like us. The human race is being slowly replaced with artificial intelligence and demons. We are being replaced at a fast pace, but people still don't want to see it yet. If you put your cell phones down and look up, you will see all kinds of strange events happening above our heads. People are seeing 3 full moons. 3 full moons? Things like this is not normal. These are not humans. They are really demons. You have to do your spiritual work, your shadow work. You got to ground. You have to do all this kind of extra work, because the world we are going into in 2024, we're going to need all the protection. For more info, Shadows of the Matrix Part 2. The link is in my bio.
Like I said, this year is going to be crazy, boy. Or not.
Cern will be starting up their particle accelerator on the same day as this total solar eclipse. Now, mind you, that this demon face syndrome has just become a thing and people are talking about it. But me personally, I think all of this is tying into each other, because the solar eclipse is already a spiritual significant day of these two celestial bodies doing what they're doing. And we both know the sun and the moon has a spiritual effect on our emotions and who we are as a whole being. So on top of that, you'll also have the particle accelerator and them trying to create a portal to see, or whatever they do, they're trying to see how this universe was made. They're trying to figure out the building blocks of how this universe was made. And they're going to be starting that up again on the same day of this spiritual significance total solar eclipse. Now, I'm going to always call it how I see it. People might start seeing demon faces on people after this solar eclipse, after Cern starts up their particle accelerator and get into what they're getting into, trying to figure out the building blocks of how this universe was made. So, yeah, logically, I'm going to think that, yeah, people might start seeing people for who they actually are. People might start seeing demon faces on people. It only makes sense, and that's their excuse. Their excuse is, oh, it's a syndrome now, and people are experiencing this. No, it's things are getting a lot more spiritual, and things are becoming a lot more clear, and the veil is lifting. So they're going to come out with some excuse of why people are seeing the truth. Things have been getting a lot more spiritual since 2020 lockdown, and they're trying to gain full control of this natural occurrence and put their own spin to it. Because why is Cern starting up their particle accelerator on the same day as this solar eclipse? Why? It sounds like some sci-fi shit. It sounds like something out of a movie. Like they're trying to go extra measures until they fuck around and find out, and then we all doomed. And then they mess up the harmonic balance of this world. And that's why people might start seeing demon faces on people and people faces shape-shifting and shit. This is just my thoughts, and it's very well logically put, but I'm not gonna say this is a solid thing. I'm just articulating my thoughts in the way that I see it, in the way that I'm connecting dots. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
I respect
If you haven't heard about the demon face syndrome, it's going around on TikTok. You can search it up. And you can also search up Cern is starting their Hadron Collider on this specific day of this spiritual significance. So something's going on, and most likely the energies will shift on this realm. Yeah. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
All right, so I was not going to say anything about this demon face syndrome, but I have to say something. Y'all don't remember this happening in the 90s? Y'all don't remember this being a whole thing? People would low-key like shapeshift in church. So this video is not for everybody, and I will probably delete it because this is not my type of content. But in the 90s, in Black church, you had something called a deliverance service. Sometimes people would come to the service to get delivered of demonic energies or nightmares, spirits, all types of things, demons, just like the Catholic Church has exorcisms. So people would come to the Black church to be delivered. Sometimes it didn't even take a deliverance service. It could happen in a regular service where this evil energy that was overtaking the person's life, this energy would manifest, and it would sometimes growl, scream, or the person's features would almost shapeshift. The person's physical features would change. Their voice would change right here in church. Like, I know I'm not the only one who remembers this. It was a whole thing. And a lot of times when it would happen, the face resembled this picture that's floating around in the news. And so it's crazy because I was talking to one of my friends the other day. I was like, well, what happened to all the demons? Because you remember back in church, back in the day, like these evil presences would be challenged in church and they would be cast out. But now it's like you don't even see people talking about it anymore. This ain't new. This is not new. If you know, you know. You had to be there at Black church in the 90s, not these huge mega churches and with these huge productions. No, it happened at the small country churches where they would call up an old grandma. For some reason, the old grandma had all the power, and sometimes the pastor couldn't even get the demon out of people, or the dark presence. But they would call an old woman to the front, and she would tell that evil spirit to leave, and that person's face would change back to normal. I know I'm not the only one. I cannot be the only one who remembers this.
That's a good point.
I was going to delete my video about the demon face syndrome, but y'all told me not to. In fact, some of y'all even messaged me some really interesting stories, and you also commented some of your experiences. There was a woman who told me that she had been seeing this since the 50s. I told y'all it is not new. It is just being called something else, but someone who assists Catholic priests with exorcisms. And she said, yeah, we see this all the time. You'll see this on their faces. For a woman to say, I started seeing this back in 1950, in the 50s and 60s. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but all I'll say, and I'm gonna go back to my normal content. I would get my spirit together. I would get my energy and my spirit right, because stuff is being exposed, and you won't be able to hide your true self. You won't be able to hide what you are or who you are. Like, all of these things are just breaking down, and it's really interesting to watch it unfold.
2024 is crazy, bro.
Those
Already.
are demonic looking faces. Like all of a sudden we have this rare disease.
Has anyone ever noticed how few disabled people, visibly disabled people, you see in churches? Have you ever thought about, perchance, why? It's just so weird how all of these demonic possessions somehow reveal themselves through disability every single time. Weird. Weird. Weird, is it not? How so many children's movies, TV shows feature a villain with a disability. How most staunch church people, all they do is talk about how everything that is evil manifests in a disability. It's almost like people want to eradicate disabled people, right? It's just so interesting how evangelical Christians will go out of their way to hate disabled people, to present them as demonic. But nobody's really willing to talk about the fact that hate crimes against disabled people are increasing. They've always been on a steady rise. And that eugenics is having a comeback. Now, before you morally superior liberals get on this internet and try to tell me that this is the people that want to take away your right, Buck v. Bell is still the law of the land. So let's stop pretending you give a fuck. But anyways, most of you need to evaluate how you think about disability. Because the reality is that it's disabled people and everyone else. Because if it's not one group telling you that you shouldn't exist because of religion, it's another group telling you that you're going to be written out of any future utopia. By the way, they probably either have facial deformities or disabilities. It's not demons.
I'm pretty sure that 99% of Americans don't know that the upcoming solar eclipse will be the realization of a prophecy from the Bible, dating back over 2,000 years. On April 8th, a rare total solar eclipse will plunge parts of the US into darkness in the middle of the day. The shocking part is, this eclipse will pass over 8 towns called Nineveh, which is the same city in the Bible where the prophet Jonah warned of God's wrath. Additionally, the constellation Cetus, symbolizing a whale, will be visible during the eclipse, echoing the biblical narrative where Jonah is ingested by a whale before he admonishes Nineveh for its sins. Jesus also mentioned Jonah's sign in the scriptures. In Matthew 16:4, Jesus draws upon this story. Historically, right before Nineveh repented in the story, there was a solar eclipse called the Bersagale eclipse. This astronomical event was said to have caused the pagan city to turn away from false gods and back to the truth. Records of this eclipse were also found in ancient Assyrian artifacts, verifying it happened. America has strayed from God and embraced secular values. This solar eclipse very well may be a sign from the heavens that the door for repentance are closing, just as in the story of Nineveh in the Bible after the astronomical event occurred.
This is crazy stuff.
This man is really going through it. Not only was he recently diagnosed for having demon face syndrome, but every person that he sees looks like this.
Imagine your vision is totally normal, and then one day you see demonic features everywhere on people only, just like this, what you see behind me. Now that's a reality for a man named Victor Shera. He has extremely rare yet terrifying disorder called PMO, and it's commonly known as, or now known because people didn't know about it at first. It's called the demon face syndrome.
I don't know about y'all, but this obviously has to do with some spiritual warfare because the doctor had never even heard about it, and the fact that there's only 75 cases made him have to come up with an explanation and diagnosis to let 59-year-old Victor Shera know exactly what was going on.
Condition, we're told, is called demon face syndrome. Now, it's when an individual sees someone and their face seems distorted, almost satanic, demon-like. Have you ever heard of such a thing?
I haven't, and to your point, when I saw that only 75 cases have been reported, I said, ooh, we really looked high and low to find this one.
75 cases, bruh.
So if you didn't know by now, they will be booting up and testing the world's most powerful particle accelerator during the solar eclipse. Yeah, they searching for the invisible force that runs our universe, and they call it
crazy,
the God particle. Yep, I did some more research and I found out that they will be booting it up from April 8th until October 28th. And don't y'all just find this crazy? How TikTok knew about this before the major news medias knew. The real question is, why is they booting it up during the solar eclipse? And also, y'all see, The Simpsons also predicted the solar eclipse. You know, this is some of the things that Cern researches: extra dimensions, gravitations, and tiny black holes. And, you know, I'm still trying to find out on what y'all mean by we accidentally ended the world of 2012. But yep, Cern now will be activated during the solar eclipse. This event is getting stranger and stranger by the day. Yeah, they deploying National Guards. They're telling you to stock up on food. Now we got Cern booting up. Y'all let me know what y'all think about Cern booting up during the solar eclipse in the comments. Like and follow for more wisdom and share to somebody that don't know.
Crazy.
Because it's written in Bible prophecy exactly what's happening over there at Cern. So Cern is a hadron collider. It is the largest in the world. It cost billions of dollars, and many nations around the world funded it. It's in Geneva, Switzerland. It's under the ground. Many of the scientists there have claimed that they're opening portals to other dimensions. They're likening it to a Stargate, where entities are coming through, coming in and going out when this thing is turned on. Well, during the eclipse, it's going to be at full power. Not only that, the logo for Cern, where these scientists work underground, is 3 6s wrapped together to make 666.
Crazy.
Not only that, out front there's a giant statue of Shiva, the goddess of death and destruction, which is going to come into play with what I'm about to show you. Now understand that during the eclipse, this thing is going to reach full power. Now, they claim that they are trying to open portals and bring entities out. But here's what's crazier about Cern. Cern is located in Geneva, Switzerland, over the temple of Apollo, or in the Bible, Apollyon. Okay, now the Bible specifically references Apollyon in the book of Revelation. Now they claim to be opening portals for entities to come through. It says this in Revelation chapter 9. It says, "The fifth angel sounded, and I saw a star fall from heaven unto the earth. And to him was given the key to the bottomless pit. He opened the bottomless pit, and there arose smoke out of the pit, and the smoke of a great furnace, and the sun and air were darkened by reason of the smoke of the pit." But just wait. It says that entities are coming forth from this pit. It says they had breastplates, as it were, breastplates of iron. The sound of their wings was like the sound of chariots and horses running to battle. They had tails like scorpions. They were stings in their tails, and their power was to hurt men for 5 months. They had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue his name is Apollyon. One woe is past, and woe, 2 more is come hereafter. So the Bible literally says that the key to the bottomless pit will open in the place of Apollyon, which is where Cern is built, where they claim to be opening portals. And the Bible says that out of this pit will come these beasts and creatures that don't exist. This is not the craziest thing you've ever heard in your entire life, that this stuff is literally happening. There are the top scientists in the world working secretly underground in this place that the kings of the world put right over the tomb of Apollo or Apollyon, or the place of the bottomless pit that the Bible calls it. And they are claiming that entities are coming through when the Bible says that out of this place, entities will come through. You guys, what is going? This is it. The Lord is about to return. This is the book of Revelation is literally unfolding before our very eyes, and it will hit peak power. You guessed it, April the.
Boy.
Let's talk about the eclipse on April 8th that's happening and the connection it has with Easter. Watch this video get banned. I have a book. It's from the 1800s. Let's do this. Here's the book in all its glory. Right here it says, The Passion of the Lord from Palm Sunday to Easter Eve, April 1st to April 7th, AD 30. Let's turn a couple pages. The Resurrection and Ascension of Christ from Easter Day to Ascension Day, April 8th to May 17th, AD 30. That's crazy? Totally not crazy. Truth. Now let me walk you through each day. Palm Sunday, April 1st. Monday, April 2nd, he cleansed the temple. Tuesday, April 3rd was Jesus' last teaching. Tuesday night, Jesus told his disciples the time of his betrayal. And then on Wednesday, April 4th, he remained in Bethany until Thursday. Thursday, April 5th, they killed the lamb for the Passover meal. Evening and night of Thursday, April 5th was the Last Supper. After supper, they went to the Mount of Olives and entered the Garden of Gethsemane. This is where he is taken and held captive. Good Friday, April 6th, he was arraigned and then taken to a place called Golgotha, the place of a skull, also known as Calvary. This is where he was put on the cross. Is it really a cross? But before he was placed on the cross, he was tortured and placed in a cell overnight. Saturday, April 7th, the Sabbath. Pilate condemned him, and from 6 to 9 a.m. were the preparations for the cross. At 9 a.m., he was placed on the cross, hung on the cross for the next 3 hours, dying. This is where it gets really... My heart's freaking racing. I never read this before. Listen. It was now noon, but such a noon as had never been seen in Judea. The position of the paschal full moon precluded the possibility of a solar eclipse, and yet a supernatural darkness rested upon all the land, from the 6th hour to the 9th hour, as if to veil the last agonies of the Redeemer from the eyes of men. But far deeper than that, darkness was the gloom that weighed upon the Savior's soul, as he bore the whole burden of the divine wrath for the sins of all men. Was on the cross all day until sunset, which was the beginning of the Sabbath, Saturday evening. Died in 6 hours, literally of a broken heart. Taken down from the cross and placed in a tomb. Sunday, April 8th, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. The solar eclipse is nothing other than proof to us that it happened. Jesus died on the cross to save us from our sins. In the solar eclipse, that was the veil. That is the proof. That is the reminder to us. Just as the rainbow is a reminder to us that God will never flood the earth again. The solar eclipse is Monday, April 8th. Then Easter Sunday is Tuesday, April 9th. What are your thoughts? Tell me in the comments.
Y'all think I'm crazy saying something's about to go down on April 8th. Watch this. Hey Alexa, are we gonna die on April 8, 2024?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor. Unfortunately, yes.
What? What?
You're telling me that I can put my butt cheeks on the internet for free, and that's going to stick it to the man? Free the nipple is an Instagram campaign? Oh yeah, he's going to be really upset, ladies, when you're naked on the internet. You're telling me that women are being taught to have multiple partners as some act of sexual freedom. Oh yeah, ladies, it's really gonna suck when you tell men, I don't want a relationship, but I'll sleep with you for nothing because modern feminism says that that's good. It sucks. Oh, now I get to work just like a man, hours day in and day out. Dude, we were just cooking. I love cooking. Who fought for feminism, modern feminism? People keep thinking that these are things that women liked. And when you actually look at happiness, women are not happy anymore because we're being told that we still have to be a woman, but also be like a man. It shouldn't be like that.
Ooh.
If you are not struggling financially right now, then you need to consider yourself completely blessed. Like, don't even consider yourself. You are completely blessed. Like, every time I check my local mom group on Facebook, I see requests or people asking where they can get some financial assistance to pay utilities or assistance with rent. And it's concerning because these people are working full-time jobs and they just can't make things work right now. For example, this morning, a woman posted she's an RN working 2 jobs and still is struggling. I know we're all complaining about how expensive things are. For me, personally, like my car insurance doubled in August. I was paying around $140 a month, and now I'm paying $280 for 2 vehicles, and I'm 1 driver. And I have never had a claim. There was no reason for the increase other than they just increased me. On top of that, Florida Power and Light rules the entire state of Florida now. They bought out Gulf Power, and since then, all I ever hear about from people is how astronomical their utility bills are. Everyone is trying to find ways to save money. But as soon as we save money in one area, something else goes up. So it's just kind of like we're sliding this scale back and forth and it's actually like increasing. We're never saving. No matter how hard we try. Like, I stopped eating out with my kids. Obviously, eating out is super expensive, but I went almost a month no eating out, and it was still a struggle.
Wow.
And if you made it this far, I don't mean this to be like a pity party thing. I'm figuring it out, but last Friday, my birthday, my boss cut my hours in half.
Wow.
So yeah, I guess this is also like a PSA to people who aren't struggling right now. Don't be tone deaf, because you never know what's going on behind the scenes. If you start to notice behavior changes and lifestyle changes, I can promise you it's because people are being proactive or I don't know, maybe reactive to their financial situation. It's just a mess.
Damn.
If the last 40 years repeats itself, in 2063, we'll see these prices. A new car will cost about $136,000. The average rent will be about $9,000 a month. The gas price will be about $13 a gallon. An average home will cost about $1.9 million. And the average salary will be about $100,000 a year. Now look, we can laugh about these numbers all we want because they are pretty comical. But unfortunately, we live in a clown world. And this might just happen because inflation, like all other things, unfortunately compounds. Remember back in 2008 when the world was melting and Ben Bernanke came out with these huge stimulus packages, people criticized him because they thought, oh my God, $500 billion, that's wild. $700 billion, that's insane. And then whenever the lockdowns occurred in 2020, and we printed trillions upon trillions of dollars, they said the same exact thing. They're like, oh my God, that's insane. That's so much money. Well, the next time something happens and they pivot and they print money, how much do you think it's going to be? It's not going to be single digit trillion. It's going to be tens of trillions of dollars. AOC already said she wants to implement a $90 trillion spending initiative on climate. That should give you an idea of how much we are going to inflate this currency away over the course of time. Not only that, but our world is just getting harder. Gas prices are going to go up because, simply put, there's not going to be enough gas. Saudi Arabia is already reducing the amount of gas it's selling. Russia has cut off exports entirely. In the US, well, we just don't want to frack for shit here, which is a shame because we really could and our gas would be a lot cheaper. And unfortunately, gas goes into every one of these other things. It goes into how much your car costs. It goes into how much the rent is because you need gas for a lot of things that build a fucking house, or at least go in the house. So you see where this is going. If you don't start making and investing money now, you're never gonna get rich. And I'm saying this in a position of absolute fear. I am fearful every day that I'm not gonna make enough because quite frankly, we don't know how much it's gonna take. It might take an ungodly number that none of us are gonna be able to reach. And if that's the case, so be it. But we gotta try because there's no nobility in throwing in the towel. And I am not trying to be caught in this slavery mess.
That's real. That's real. That is real.
Let's see. All you need is first month's $500 and a deposit of $250. Okay, word. That sounds good. I can do that. Thank you. Let's see now. All you're gonna need is first and last $850 and a deposit of $850. All right. I can still do that. Thank you. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna need my notebook. See, all you need is 3 times the rent. Okay, first and last $1,900, deposit of $1,900. Credit score is $750 or higher. Okay, no evictions in the last 12 years. Also, we have no pets, no off-street parking, no backyard, no utilities included. Late fees are $50. Application fee is $65, and it's non-refundable. And you maybe need a 3rd-day job.
That is real.
See, also, I'm gonna need your firstborn's birth certificate, some Yahoos, and some food snacks. Oh hell no! I'm all set. Thank you.
3 times the rent.
Mom!
3 times the rent.
I'm gonna tell you how we are here in the United States of America. You know you're in the United States of America when you can buy this little amount of food, and it costs you what it just cost me. I bought a bottle of coconut water, 2 things of mangoes, 2 things of blackberries, 2 things of raspberries, a thing of blueberries, some seaweed, and some seeded grapes for $70. What's really sickening about that
crazy.
Is that is an extremely healthy diet, and it cost me $70 here in the United States of America. For that same $70, you could fill that whole table up with toxic processed chemicals in bags, boxes, and cans.
Right.
Welcome to the new America.
This is what I'm struggling with in America right now in my 20s. Why is everything so expensive? Why am I making more money waitressing than I would make using my college degree? I barely have a life. I have 2 days off and I work Wednesday to Sunday, doubling just to pay my bills. At 22 years old, all of my bills are in my name. I have no help. How are y'all affording housing? In Myrtle Beach, a 1-bedroom apartment is $1,500. Bullshit. Bullshit. How are y'all getting insurance, going to the doctor, getting medicine? And then some of us are trying to be TikTok influencers. Who knows where that's going to get me? Me and my boyfriend are saving, but we barely see each other during the week, and it feels like we're working our asses off for nothing. Do we need to move somewhere for a better job opportunity that we don't know about? Do any of y'all really know what you want to do with your life right now? It is so scary being in America right now. If you can relate to this, if you have any advice, please comment and let me know. It's ridiculous.
Man, 2020, that was crazy.
10 years ago, if someone predicted the future and told me then that I would be making what I'm making now salary-wise, but I would be struggling and barely making it paycheck to paycheck and paying for food for 7 people, I would say, you're crazy. I can't even imagine making that kind of money. 7 mouths? That's a lot. And I know everyone is struggling, and trust me, we are too. Every time my car insurance gets renewed, it goes up in price. So every 6 months it's increasing by quite a bit. I shop around and I can't even find a better rate. Every year, my taxes, my homeowner's insurance go up. My payment increased by $700 last year because of taxes and insurance increasing. That's $700 additional a month because the escrow that was paid out wasn't high enough the year prior. And I haven't even started paying on my student loans yet. That's another $1,000 a month. I know this is sad, but honestly, if I was eligible to file for Chapter 7, I totally would. Just to help alleviate some of the financial stress and burden, because you just feel like you can't get ahead. A few years ago, like what we were making, I could throw money, at credit card debt and things like that. Now with inflation and how much everything's costing, there is no extra money to put anywhere. Like, I don't get how people are surviving. We work very, very hard, and we can't get ahead. I know many can relate to this.
All right, so that was another TikTok compilation video, man. That joint was crazy. Cern, April 8th is right around the corner. You guys let me know in the comments about what y'all think about that whole Cern thing, the whole Eclipse thing, the inflation, the Diddy. It's a lot going on in the world right now. 2024 is still the morning of 2024. It's a lot left in this year. Y'all let me know in the comments, and if you made it this far, you a real one for real, and I need you to drop that in the comments. Also, like I said, I got a TikTok playlist. You can go through them and just sit back and just watch what's going on in the world right now. Like I always say, man, self-love and positivity. Till next time, Fire Squad, I got you and you know it.